They cause me not to think of defending against accusing me of no one in the meantime that I have to work under the old work group. Until it caused the violation of the staff occurred because Mrs. Wendy Kalprom and those who go to work for the same work group without understanding in the bureaucratic system to manage to take someone else to replace me and steal all my information a lot. And because it is an offensive infringement of officials in my department and other departments under Section 5 of the Act liability for staff violations year 2539 that said government agencies must be held liable for victims as a result of violations of their staff. In the event that the injured person may sue the government agency directly, but cannot sue the official. And if violations from non-affiliated officials. Any state agency shall consider that the Ministry of Finance is the agency that is liable under paragraph 1. Section 8 states that in the event that a government agency is liable to use the compensation to the injured person as I am violated official, the state agency shall have the right to call the official who violated the compensation to the government agency if the authorities have done that intentionally or with gross negligence. The amount of compensation required under paragraph 1 may be exercised, taking into account the seriousness of the act and fairness in each case without the use of the full amount of the damage. If the violation is caused by a fault or defect of a government agency or the general operation system, the part of the said responsibility shall be deducted. In the case of violations of many officials prohibiting the principle of joint debt or compulsories, and each officer must be responsible for compensation for their own part. Article 10 states that in the event that officials violate government agencies, whether as the government agency that that person is affiliated with, if it is an act in the performance of duties of claiming compensation from the official, the provisions of Section 8 shall apply mutatis mutandis. But if it is not an act in the performance of duties, the provisions of the Code shall be enforced civil and commercial law. The right claim compensation from both officers in paragraph 1. It shall have the age of 2 years as from the date the government agency knows of the violation and know the official who should pay for the compensation is 1 year later. But the date the department issues an order, according to the opinion of the Ministry of Finance. Section 13 states that the Cabinet shall provide regulations so that officials liable under Section 8 and Section 10 that can pay in installments that are liable with regard to income, family status and responsibilities and circumstances of the case consist of. Section 14 states that once the administrative court is established, it shall be considered that the right to prosecute the administrative court. Section 15 states that the Prime Minister shall be in charge of this act. From the Office of the Council of State, year 2539. So, I thought that the government should be set up or the Bangkok governor set up again instead of the original set. 2. The point that the Director General of the Cooperative Auditing Department and those accused me of resigning from government service for reasons of other occupation. In fact, it was the government's reason for wanting a number of incompatible civil servants to work together that was causing them to not understand each other enough. They can grant early retirement in order to work in other necessary agencies or which has more potential to be good for the overall government public service. Because the civil service profession